Okay, you've definitely heard the story of the tortoise and the hare, right? But what if it's not just some kid's fable? What if it's actually a post-mortem for our own projects? You know, the ones we start and never finish? In this explainer, we are going to dissect that exact pattern of failure and, way more importantly, build a roadmap to actually fix it.
So let me ask you this. Does this sound familiar? You get a brilliant idea, right? You're completely fired up. You buy the domain name, you're telling all your friends about it, and then you hit the very first real obstacle. And poof, all that momentum just vanishes. If that hits a little too close to home, then you are in exactly the right place.
So this image right here, this is basically our roadmap for today. We're going to reframe that classic rabbit and turtle story as a modern day battle. A battle for productivity, sure, but really it's a battle for self-trust. We're going to pick apart exactly why the rabbit's frantic sprints almost always end in burnout and how the turtle's slow, steady, consistent approach might just be the secret to finally finishing what you start. Now, to really get this, we're not just going to talk about theory. No, we're going to walk through a real 4-month journey. Think of it as a case study in frustration that shows perfectly how this whole pattern plays out. Let's break down this failure spiral, month by painful month. Here it is, the roadmap of that downward spiral. It all kicks off with that familiar high of a brand new project. Then it starts sinking under the weight of all your past attempts, hits a brick wall of pure frustration, and finally, it lands at this moment of just brutal honesty. And trust me, every single stage here has a huge lesson for us. All right, month 1. The energy is sky high, the conviction is absolute. This time, it's going to be different. The source material calls this being busy with motion, not progress. You know what I mean. Restructuring your folders, making these beautiful strategy documents, sketching out diagrams. It feels like you're working, but nothing is actually getting shipped. It is the illusion of productivity, and man, it is a classic trap. And then, month 2 hits. The initial buzz is gone, and now you're just left staring at what the source calls the junkyard of your own half-built empires. And look, these aren't just unused domains and unfinished websites. Psychologically, they become evidence against you. They're all whispering, see? You never finish anything. This brings us to a really powerful quote from the source material that just captures the absolute heart of month 3. It's not just about remembering past failures. It's that sharp, painful awareness that you are repeating the exact same destructive pattern right now in real time, and you feel completely powerless to stop it. That is peak frustration. So, what is actually going on here? After walking through the what, it's time to diagnose the why. Because this isn't just a string of bad luck. It is a specific identifiable pattern. So let's give it a name. The rabbit syndrome. Okay, so here's the crucial point. The rabbit isn't lazy. Not at all. In fact, the rabbit is capable of these incredible bursts of speed. The problem isn't the start. It's the complete and total inability to handle friction. The second things get hard or boring or they don't deliver those instant results, the rabbit just vanishes. This slide just lays out the two opposing identities so clearly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the rabbit style, these high-energy sprints always followed by a crash. Its reaction to friction, it's out of there. Its core philosophy, a desperate hunt for instant success. Now contrast that with the turtle, slow, steady, almost boringly consistent. It meets friction with these non-negotiable daily minimums and is totally focused on the long game of compounding small wins. These are not just different tactics, you guys. They are entirely different philosophies of how to get things done. And you know, living as the rabbit, it comes with a steep price. It's not just about the failed projects. It's the erosion of your own self-respect. The source talks about this whole landscape of shame, anger, guilt, and this really profound sense of grief for the person you feel you should have become by now. This is the real damage that this cycle causes. So after hitting rock bottom in month 4, something has to give. And the solution isn't just some new productivity app or trying to find another burst of motivation. No, it is a fundamental shift. It is about consciously choosing a new identity. This one single insight, this is the turning point of the entire story. It's that realization that you cannot solve a rabbit problem with more rabbit energy. You can't just sprint your way out of burnout. The solution is in fundamentally changing the game that you're playing. So let's be really clear about the turtle. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. The source describes its work as less dramatic, more boring. But its effectiveness isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. The turtle wins because the turtle doesn't stop. Simple as that. Okay, so choosing the identity is one thing, but how do you actually live it? Because insight without action is just more mental clutter, right? So let's get to the final part of our explainer and see how all this builds into a practical strategy for a slow, sustainable rebuild. And here it is, the Turtle's Playbook. 4 simple, but definitely not easy, steps. Step 1, radical focus. You commit 100% to one project, not 20% to 5. Step 2, non-negotiable daily minimums. This means you define an action so small, so tiny, that you simply cannot say no to it, even on your worst days. Step 3, review your failures. Don't see them as judgments on who you are, treat them like data to be analyzed. And finally, Step 4, remember that this is a choice. You consciously choose to act like the turtle every single day. This slide just illustrates the whole principle so brilliantly. Think of each day's tiny minimum task as a single Lego block. By itself, one block is, well, it's nothing. But day after day, these small, boring, consistent wins, they build a staircase. They build momentum, they rebuild self-trust, and they eventually compound into something truly significant. Look, if you take one single thing away from this entire explainer, please let it be this. Every time you slip back into rabbit mode, every missed daily task, it is not a verdict on your character. It is simply data. It's information telling you what needs to be adjusted. Reinterpreting failure this way, that is the key to breaking the cycle for good. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this thought. Look back at your own digital graveyards, all those unfinished projects, your patterns of starting and stopping. They're not random. They are telling a story. They are data. So the crucial question is, what is that data telling you?